So Wilma, you're doing the brief introduction, so over to you.
Thanks, Richard. A very warm welcome to everyone on the webinar today. This is the first of a series of virtual sessions that we're going to do over the next couple of months, hopefully to help, obviously, students, counselors, and everyone interested in all the schools at the University of Plymouth. The aim of these sessions, obviously, is information, but also a Q&A to ask us questions about certain courses within the school. So as you would know, the program focus today is MBA, MSc Finance, but obviously we will take questions about other connected topics as well, but largely to basically promote these two extremely popular courses. So we'll do a little bit about an overview as well. Some of you may already have attended some sessions with me over the last couple of weeks. So just, I will not repeat, but I will go over some basic things about the university, and then I will hand over, obviously, to Richard to talk about the core business school areas. Can we go to the next slide, please? So you've already met Richard now, who's introduced himself. He's the Associate Head of Plymouth Business School. It's one of the largest and most popular schools in the Faculty of Arts, Humanities, Business, also owing to the number of international students we actually have in the school. And obviously, some of the most popular courses in the entire university also are in the business school. Can we go to the next one? Right. So for those of you who just need a refresher about where Plymouth is, we are in the southwest of England, a very beautiful, scenic oceanfront city. So very fondly called Britain's Ocean City as well. So you'll find that in a lot of magazines and social media sort of posts that talk about Plymouth and its scenic beauty. Roughly around 3 to 5, I would say 4 hours from London. Obviously, when students come to the university during orientation, we have airport pickup services as well. So we will have student ambassadors at Heathrow who will be waiting there with our Plymouth banner to kind of welcome students coming in. We do them on 2 days, so students will have to book whichever day is most suitable for them. But if they don't get the airport pickup, there's no worry because it's very easy to travel to Plymouth either by bus or by train. So by coach, you can travel directly from Heathrow, in fact. If it's a train travel, obviously some students have a lot of bags, so they can obviously come in via the train from London, Paddington. Now we're a mid-sized city, and I tell you the best part about being an average mid-sized city is the population, of course, but also the accessibility and the peace and calm that you will not find in another large, really busy city. I think that's what some of the students find most beneficial about living in Plymouth. Everybody lives close to the campus, so no one really has to take buses or trains or cars to come to class. And this really beautiful picture that you can see here, students can literally walk to this waterfront area in about 7 to 10 minutes, depending on what their pace is. Now, we have recorded the lowest cost of living for several years now. We often get ranked in any tables that talk about cost of living versus affordability. And it's one of the top, selling things of Plymouth that you can also use. For the counselors here, you can use this to counsel your students. For students who are here, please take note of it. Obviously, when you calculate the entire ROI, so your return on investment in terms of fees, scholarships, your day-to-day expenses, and the overall financial picture, it's a very comforting and comfortable one when it comes to Plymouth. And we can advise you a little bit more when you talk to us individually in detail. The campus itself is in the city center, so that's again one of really the top most beneficial things about living and studying at the University of Plymouth. Everything from your local restaurants to the city center to accommodation to the train station and your campus itself is all within a radius of probably 10 to 15 minutes. And you really won't get this sort of accessibility in any of the larger cities. So ranging from, your halls of residence to your lecture halls, you literally walk just a few seconds or a few minutes. And last but not the least is the climate. Obviously, it's mild considering British weather, but sometimes you can experience 4 seasons in a day. But just let me tell you, based on student feedback, weather is the least concerning factor when it comes to students. All right. We tend to get a lot of feedback every year from students, and it's almost never about the weather. On some days, especially during the summer, you will really get to enjoy the best of, sunny oceanfront weather. So that is, I would actually count that as one of the beneficial things rather than something else. Can we go to the next one? So just a little bit of history plus ranking information in this. We are obviously named in all of the global world university rankings from QS to the Times Higher Education rankings as well. One of the notable ones, obviously, over here is our TEF Teaching Excellence Framework Gold rating. In fact, the validity of that ranking is actually till this year. So it'll be interesting to see what the next one will be. So we're very happy with the outcomes of this one, which means we're overall gold in teaching, student experience, and student outcomes. As a student, obviously, you'd want to study at a university which has extremely high quality teaching facilities and the overall experience as well. So this is really a notable thing that you can, sort of remember about the University of Plymouth. Going back to a little bit of history, we've also won the Queen's Anniversary Prize 3 times, mostly for our contribution to marine and maritime education. As you discover our subjects, as you go further, you will see that there is a running line of sustainability and conservation that we practice throughout the university in most of our schools and most of our courses. So this is in a nutshell about where we are in terms of our ranking and recognition. Can we go to the next one? Right. So without any further ado, I will hand over to Richard. I will be here to take questions after the subject specific talk as well. So if any of you have questions about fees, scholarships, and that sort of stuff, then we can cover that later.
Okay, thank you, Wilma. So just to remind you, the chat box down the bottom of the screen is where you can add any questions, where Beth and Toon can and Wilma can address questions live through the webinar. But just a reminder that please do not include any personal or confidential information in the chat box. Okay, so as Wilma's already kindly introduced me, is that I'm Richard Parkburn, Associate Head for Plymouth Business School for International Partnerships. I'm also an Associate Professor in TNE, doesn't mean much, but management. So I'm, as well as doing my sort of management role, I am actually a lecturer here as well, and I do teach on a number of different courses and modules, ranging from organizational behaviors to things like strategy and consultancy and business. I haven't always been an academic. I worked in a large organization within the UK, and I was an area manager looking after £1 million worth of budgets, etc., etc. So that tends to sort of be the theme of a lot of our academic colleagues as well, that they haven't always been career academics. They're able to define and practice with academia, and that sort of supports our ethos really and our thought with as the business school. So we'd like to, as part of any of our programs, I know we're focusing on the MBA and finance today, but through all our programs, we really take this pride in integrating real world applications and problem-based solutions into the curriculum. So one of the things that we sort of started doing this year is giving students the opportunity to get immersive experience in real world organizations to try and see how theory and practice blend together. So as we say in the slides there, is they're not only well versed in theoretical concepts, but we're also adept at applying them in practical settings and enhancing your employability and readiness for the global business landscape. So one of the things that is really important and key to us is that when you graduate, whether it's undergraduate or postgraduate, when you graduate from your studies, you are employment ready. You're able to hit the ground running. So the knowledge you're getting, whilst it's theoretically underpinned, it has actual real world application as well. Next slide, please. Okay, a little bit more about the business school. I'll brush over this quite quickly, but we are one of 3 schools in the Faculty of Arts, Humanities and Business. And the school is broadly divided into 4 discipline areas. So we have accounting, economics and finance, business, marketing and place, which includes things like tourism and hospitality, as well as marketing, which is obvious in the title. And our last, but by no means least, area is shipping and logistics, which covers things like maritime supply chain, procurement, etc., etc. As Wilma alluded to, we are by the ocean. Our closest neighbour is France, which is around sort of 60 miles, 70 miles away. And so we have our sort of history is rooted in the maritime sector. Again, a historical fact. Um, the university started life as a navigation college back in the 18th century. So, although we're considered to be a new university, we are quite old. I think we're somewhere in the region of 170 years old now, because obviously the changes within higher education. But fundamentally, our historical roots are in the maritime sector, and quite a lot of our programs do reflect that maritime and feel throughout them. The business school has 62 members of academic staff. We have over 2,000 taught students, plus over 100 PhD students as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so the business school, again, just to sort of give you a little bit of background about us. The business school was located on the periphery of the university campus up until January the 14th, 2026, where we moved to this brand new building, the Fitzroy building. When I say brand new, it was brand new to us. It was an existing building that was transformed at a cost of 14.5 million and includes a lot of state-of-the-art teaching environments. So we have a Bloomberg interactive learning suite for those of you who are interested in finance, where you can learn and analyze financial markets. When President Trump decided to add his tariffs, that room was very busy. Because obviously they were looking at the activities live in the live markets, and our professors in finance were there, sort of explaining, advising, supporting students who were using simulation software, but were doing it live in the same as the real live markets were operating. We also have a maritime suite for those who are studying the maritime area, and a language lab, but currently that's not in use due to our sort of review of languages. Okay, next slide, please. So coming back to the earlier point about how our ethos as a business school is to have our graduates workplace ready. You can see some of the organizations that we have very close collaborations with, who also work with us and accredit our programs. So we have the Institute of Chartered Accountants, CIMA, the Institute of Marketing, Institute of Travel and Tourism, CIPD. So these are just a small example of the number of industry institutions that we tie up with. So thanks. Next slide. As Wilma mentioned at the start, we're here to focus on the MBA and the finance programs, but as you can see there, we have a range of postgraduate programs that we offer. So if you're here today and you're interested in anything other than MBA, than finance, we will be more than happy to talk about any of those programs that I have listed there. Going forward, we are currently looking at the review of our programs, our titles, etc. I don't see them changing, that list changing drastically, but we may make a further addition in one or two areas. So if you're not thinking about coming to university or to study this academic year and down the line, maybe there's something you want to just have a look at. But like I said, there's not going to be any radical changes. It's more about, as any good institution would be doing, is making sure that our programs are contemporary for the business world, which is currently very fast moving. Next slide, please. Okay, so Masters of Business Administration, as you will see from the slide, which is fairly obvious, it's a 1 year program. Um, so we do offer part-time routes, but if you're coming here as a international student, I'm pretty certain the part-time route is unavailable to you due to visa requirements, etc., etc. So we have obviously we're looking at a September start, but we are looking at more opportunities for later starts. But if we talk about September start. Um, it's made up of 3 semesters. So we have the autumn, the spring, then the summer semester. You made me talk about the immersive experience into the industry. Currently, we will look to offer students opportunities to apply for any immersive experience in that 3rd semester. We don't currently offer a year-long placement opportunity, but we do offer short-term immersive experiences within industry, within the region and beyond. So as it says there, the MBA empowers you to shape your future, fast track your career and transitioning into responsibilities. We'll probably have a question. I don't know what's on the slide, the next slide, but entry requirements is having a good undergraduate qualification. Previously, we did ask for work experience. That was removed a year ago. So again, you are able to come from your undergraduate or bachelor level studies and progress into an MBA here. It's a 1 year course. We're going to look at some of the core modules next. So again, the current version of the MBA is made up of 5 modules, the top 4 being 30 credits and the capstone project being a 60 credit module. Again, as you heard me say, the first 2 are in semester 1, the second 2 in semester 2, and the capstone, whilst you would have been introduced and starting your thinking around your independent project, that is due for write-up and completion in semester 3. So they pretty much say what they do on the tin. So managing knowledge, information, and finance. That's very much around managers in modern businesses. We need to have that information, that informed information around and knowledge to make any decisions. That's where you'll sort of be handling things like big data, etc. Leading change in people. I'm pretty much not going to explain what that is because it says what it is. Strategy and marketing. And then obviously a core part of any business is around that logistics, operations and supply chain. The project will be linked. It's an independent study, which you, as a student, will work with an individual supervisor. It's a sizable project between 7 to 10,000 words, but it's independently driven and from a topic or proposal of your choice. It's during this period we expect you to undertake that industry immersion if it's something that you're interested in doing. Okay, next slide, please. Again, I think I've just said all this. The MBA, it's applied learning with a curriculum that blends cutting-edge research and real-world application. Again, as a university, we are very proactive researchers, and quite often their research work underpins it and is informs the classes that you are studying within. You benefit from expert teaching, guest speakers from industry, both regionally, nationally, and internationally. And obviously that real world case study underpins your learning and knowledge development. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, I just go over that one. So again, just to sort of reinforce that enrichment activities as part of the program, you will you'll be involved and be exposed to enrichment activities, so team building, industry visits, enrichment funding, and all these activities are there part of ensuring that you're developing the skills, not just your academic knowledge, but your practical knowledge, so you are workplace ready. Okay, next slide, please. So again, you all get to see these PowerPoint slides, but here's an example and testimonial from Krishna, who is one of our MBA students. Just move on. And again, Alicia, who is also an MBA student. So when you receive these slides, you can have a look a little bit more about how they have found their experiences here. Okay, thank you. So the MSc Finance, same thing, 1 year, full time. Just move to the next slide, please. And as it says, it elevates your finance career through a globally focused MSc that builds strong analytical skills and deep technical capability across the core areas of modern finance. This is an industry-aligned program that equips you to interpret complex financial issues while tackling real-world challenges that meet the demands of today's global financial industries, of which there are many, right? There are many. So again, as I said, we have a Bloomberg suite, which our finance students use as part of their curriculum, and they're being taught by experts in the financial field who are able to help, who are not only academics, but they're practitioners as well. So they're able to give real life experiences, testimonials, advice and guidance, and how you as a student or a graduate can then apply that knowledge in the world. Next slide, please. So core modules, again, fairly straightforward. Investments, which is led by Dr. Magda, covers a portfolio construction, asset classes, and risk and return principles that drive investment decisions. Very useful information, I think. International Finance by Professor Peji examines exchange rates, global capital flows, financial challenges faced by firms operating internationally. So obviously, how exchange fluctuations can impact tariff, etc. Analysis of financial statements, corporate finance, which focus on firms make investment finances, dividend decisions to create future values, and advanced business research. So again, there's not a capstone project in the MSc Finance, but there is a business research, again, which is independently driven and supported by members of the academic team. Okay, next slide, please. I've talked about Bloomberg terminals. They're a global icon of progress, so which gives you that real-time, real-life data for working on in class. Okay, next slide. So defining qualities of a high-performing graduate from Plymouth Business School, we expect you to be a critical thinker when you leave. You're financially competent and understand the world of business finance. You have a commercial awareness. You're also able to be an independent researcher and intellectually curious, and be a professional and reflective practitioner. So these are the sort of, there's many more. This is not an exhaustive list, but when you complete the program here, we expect you to have those five core competencies when you leave. Next slide, please. Okay, and finally, Q&A session. Yeah, so over to Wilma.
Yeah, there is a question, although we did cover, I mean, you did cover parts of it, but does the program include a work experience or placement component, and how are students supported in securing these opportunities?
Yeah, so it doesn't include a traditional placement year. What we offer is a short-term immersion. So you can call it a work placement, internship. The terminology is interchangeable, but it's for a short period of time, and there will be a short or small application process, for suitability of the candidate, but suitability of the organization that we work with. There's no project necessarily attached to it, but it's about that sort of shadowing in the workplace and getting that real life workplace experience.
We do have a very robust career service as well. When we talk to students, we often lead them to the page on the website that talks about our portal. It's called My Career, and it is an in-house Plymouth University portal, which is an amazing tool for students to use, not just for internships and placements, but also part-time work and that sort of thing. So once they enroll, they can create their profile on My Career. It takes about 24 to 48 hours for their profile to get created. Once it is created, they can access the database of companies, obviously, but also get highlights of all the events that are happening on campus. Some of them are subject-specific events. So certain schools will host their own employability days, but some of them are generic events as well, like the university employability events, which happen twice a year. But not only that, students will also get highlights and they will get notifications for part-time vacancies, certain other student ambassador jobs that they would like to do. So there's a lot of information on that portal. So ideally, even if a student doesn't have time to physically go to the careers office, that's fine. If they know how to use this tool properly, I think they will benefit from it. We also mentioned micro internships, and these are available 3 times a year. And usually the next, I think, batch is coming up, and we've put out notifications for that on our career pages on social media. So that's just a little bit about the careers. I think there are questions about deadlines and um, fees and scholarships. And I think if I were able to share my screen, I could just share a couple of slides. So if everyone can see my slide, the deadlines, the application deadline is 14th of August, and then we've got the deposit deadline and the CAS deadline also in September. Just a caveat here that there is a probability that the CAS deadline might change. So keep in touch with your regional teams to know the exact date. And then, of course, we have the early payment deadline, which is an extra £500 discount that students usually get when they pay their fees before a certain deadline. And that deadline is the 4th of September this year. Also, for those of you who asked about tuition fees, so this is our range of fee. Most of the business school fees are 19,500 now, £19,500. We have a minimum deposit for CAS, which is 3,500. You can pay more than this, but not lesser than this. All right. So for students who would like to pay more than 3,500, that's absolutely fine. But that's the limit that we need to issue you your CAS. Now, living expenses in Plymouth are 1171. So that's £1,171 per month. Now, your actual cost may be higher or lower depending on your spending abilities, but accommodation roughly should cost you anything between 600 to 800 pounds a month, depending again on what type of accommodation you choose. Obviously, the off-campus accommodation opportunities are far more, and they are more flexible, more cost effective, and they are scattered across the city. So it's a nice way to kind of choose if you want to live near the ocean front, or if you want to live in the city center, or if you want to live really close to campus. So you can choose from a variety of options. We do have halls of residence as well, but those are on campus, on central campus, and right outside the main campus, and they tend to get slightly more expensive than the off-campus accommodations. Now, this year, we have consolidated all our scholarships into one. So for postgraduate, we have the Welcome to Plymouth Scholarship, which is £4,000. So if your fee is 19,500, and if you've got an offer from us, you automatically should have also got the £4,000 scholarship. You don't have to apply for it. You don't need to check. It'll already be visible in your portal under the financial overview. For undergrad, it's £6,000 broken into 3 parts. So initially, you will get again a 4,000 automatic scholarship, and it will recur in year 2 and 3 as 1,000 and 1,000. All right. Again, here, you don't need to apply. You don't need to check. It will automatically apply the minute you accept your offer from us. So when you get a conditional offer from us, you need to accept that offer. Once you accept the offer, all of this will be applicable. And I spoke about the early payment discount earlier, so that's the £500. So for example, if you've paid your deposit and you've deducted your scholarship amount already, and you have a certain balance in your tuition fee, and you think you might want to pay that before you enroll, so then those students can pay before the 4th of September. So the idea is to pay 500 less. That's how we're managing it. All right. So whatever amount balance you have left, just pay 500 lesser than the total, and that will account towards your early payment discount. So again, you don't need to check with us or you don't need to apply. Just manage it in the way that I've advised right now. And last but not the least, I wanted to show some screenshots of our career posts. Basically, these are taken from Instagram, but they're also on LinkedIn and on other social media pages as well. And these are just insights into how we advertise them. So you can see here that there are graduate vacancies, part-time vacancies, undergraduate placements, but there are also subject STEM fairs, psychological, clinical psychology fairs, and so on. So a lot of options are available for students as long as they have the time to explore them, either on My Career, the portal, or they can also communicate with their faculty to kind of get a head start on where they need to apply. So that's it from me. I'm going to check if there are any other questions. Required documentation for application process. So just a note that all our application processes are now online. There is a student applicant portal and there is an agent portal as well. So agents will have an access to their own portal, students will have access to their own. All documents, fees, etc., need to be managed via the applicant portal only. So agents can see a lot of information, but when it comes to paying the deposit or uploading certain documents to meet your condition, those are done only via the applicant portal. Now, in the portal, you will have tasks. They will all appear on the dashboard. So basically, as a student, your job is to keep completing every single task till you reach your CAS request. All right. And the CAS request will only show up, obviously, once you are an unconditional offer holder and you have completed all your checks, including credibility checks as well. So that's the process outline. It's very simple and it's all online. So you don't need to keep following up with us. You can even contact an admission staff via the portal. So there is a field there to contact us and you can write whatever query you have. And I think that will be answered within 24 to 48 hours by the team. We also have regional teams. So I'm hoping everyone has contacts to their regional officers and regional teams. If not, please go to your country page on the website and the regional manager and the team's information should be there. So you can get in touch with the regional teams as well. There's a question, when will we know if we have been accepted or not? Again, your portal will have the conditional offer or the amended unconditional offer attached. All you need to do is go and download it. So when you are on your portal, your application file will show up. You go to view, and once you view your file, all your documents will be there, including your conditional offer. And if you're unconditional, then it'll be unconditional as well. Information about part-time work opportunities. So like I mentioned, the portal My Career will have listed the part-time opportunities. There are various types. So there are student ambassador jobs, which are very highly paid. Then there are also certain groups. So we have something called Hello Buddies, which is another group sort of run by students. It's a paid, unpaid sort of job that students can do. And then there are lots of options in the Students' Union as well. So for us, the Students' Union is located right in the center of the campus. So if you ever want to go and visit and speak to our team, they are located right in the center of the campus at basement level. That website will also host a lot of vacancies. So you can actually go to upsu.com and you will find a lot of the part-time vacancies available there. We have a question about IELTS waivers. If this is a question from India, all you need to do is go to the English language page on the website and the waivers are mentioned there. We do have waivers for both central board and state board. And I believe we have made it known to everybody through the website. Right. So I think that's all for today. Thanks everyone again for joining in. There will be more sessions in the next couple of weeks hosted by different other schools. So please ensure that you are updated. We have a dedicated website page now called Virtual Events, where we are advertising all our virtual events over the next couple of months. So you can register there for free or you can get in touch with us. Thank you all, and we will see you at the next event soon.